Well, in my last video, I actually got a comment. Several of them. Several videos lately, which is weird. Hope it doesn't get too much of a trend. Join the alt-right. Join your family and protect your in-group, blah blah blah. You know, that's basically what they said. Yeah. Well, that video was called alt-right, the same as the Democratic Party. However, there is a certain difference between them. The Democratic Party is basically the upper class, upper echelon, the top 0.001%. Okay? Those guys, which are usually white, but they don't really care about that. So yeah, the Democratic Party wants to, while at the same time using the capitalist system for its advantage, they want to create government controls to make sure that others can't get to their place just as easily. Also, they want to make sure that those beneath them have to work extra hard for it. So, like the alt-right in that matter, the non-whites have to work extra hard to have the same achievements. Well, not really. The non-whites have to recruit more ambition, more persistence, more will to actually make the same efforts. That's the kicker. How so? College. Lots of young, non-white or Asian students, but still American, black Latinos, yada yada. They're getting through affirmative action. Too many. A lot of those who don't really should be there. Along with those who are actually there on merit. And as they get there and fail, they set a group example, which means that those who remain there have to decide, am I a good black person, i.e. develop imposter syndrome, which means they are not good enough, they aren't able enough, and fall away as well, or consider themselves away from the community, no longer a part of it. And because of the aforementioned group example, those who make the choice to be away from the black identity is much smaller. And as such, in the end result, the graduates who then enter the workplace and then excel at it enough to develop their own businesses, yada yada, become that 0.01%. Those guys, they don't really think much about black people. They'll prefer to go with their own, the upper class, which means they'll breed white and Asian, and eventually just white. In the lower class, well, since blacks and such get a bit more help, that means that whites will prefer to breed with them. Why? Because then their kids will have that help. See how that works? And alt-right, well, even though both share the same basic assumptions, blacks are dangerous and unworthy and Democrats say need help because they can't do it on their own, and the alt-right says kick them out so that we can maintain our country. Well, the real trouble here is because the Democrats has overplayed their hand. They create a system where whites are disadvantaged for being whites. That means that whites feel they are no longer part of the system. Hence, alt-right. However, if the race war the alt-right calls for happens, the destruction will be so vast, way far beyond American borders, in such a way that the entire West and West affected world will be reduced to the Stone Age. Why? Because there are simply not enough people who can recreate all this technology from scratch. And I do mean from scratch. No Bunsen burner, no nothing. Pick the rock, melt it, make sure you have the exact right kind, blah blah blah. Each and every step, recreating and recreating and recreating until you finally get a computer chip, or a light. Yes, there are some people who can do that, makers. But even among makers, those who have enough of such acumen are few. And makers are very few in the population. Further, they're thin spread. They can't reach each other and create a community that would allow this rebuilding. Most likely after such a war, anyone alive in the next 50 years, or 25 years, will most likely be guilty of cannibalism. Because, not even farms can function when they can't get their fertilizer. And who will mine it? Who will create it? And yeah, cow shit doesn't do it. Sorry. Fact is, until the very modern time, farms were raised and then abandoned very, very often, all throughout history. They had to be remade, renewed by the nature. The whole cycle of crops thing. And this destruction would be so, so bad. Really, it will be awful, terrible. We live in a time of magic. I don't mean like fairy tales. I mean, flip a switch, you have light. You have water running in the faucet. For anyone before 100 years, 200 years from now, ago, for those people, what we have now is magic. Science fiction, fantasy novel. Please. If I have to. That is all I have. If I can't make sure that if I can't live in a world where our world is maintained in my very in-group, I don't want to get there. In such a world, children will grow up with an ancient myth of the West. Just like the ancient myth of Atlantis. They were one and the same. I don't want to go there.